Mrs. Matze here, and I thought I would help you with your English lesson today. So today's learning target is to retell a story, and we have two different pieces of success criteria. One is for feeling fine and the other is for feeling confident. Now, if you're feeling fine, what we would like you to do is to draw a story map of Mrs. Armitage on wheels with pictures that prompt your memory, and what that means is it jogs your brain into remembering the story. Make sure you include the key parts of the story. Now, if you're feeling confident, we'd like you to draw a story map of Mrs. Armitage on wheels with pictures that prompt your memory, just like before. Try to include as much detail as you remember. So the difference between those two is if you're feeling fine, you'll be able to remember those key parts, the most important bits. And if you're feeling confident, you'll be able to use and remember as much as possible from the story. In fact, maybe even all of it. So there's an important part to this lesson. Only draw pictures today, but keep the work safe for next lesson. You're going to need that same bit of paper for tomorrow's lesson, for Tuesday's English lesson. Okay? And we're going to talk about how we can do this job. So this is what our story map would look like if we were at school. So we would use this. It starts with the title, which is the beginning of the story, and then we have a wiggly line. That's all where the rest of the story will go until this is the end, where Mrs. Armitage is in the wreckage and saying that she's going to take the bike to the dump. Okay, our job is to fill out all of those spaces in between. Now, I've done a video on the next page to help you with how to do this job. Now, the first thing to do is to remember that this is an English lesson and not an art lesson. You just need to draw so that you remember. These could be symbols or stick people, okay? They don't have to be very, very detailed, colourful pictures like you would do in an art lesson. It's just to help jog your memory. Let's listen to the video. Hopefully you can see it okay.
Hello Year 1. So today we are learning to retell a story in a different way. So last week we were learning how to retell a story verbally. Now today we're using pictures to retell a story, and we're going to create our very...
Just going to make that a bit bigger for us so we can see it. Let's carry on.
...own story maps. So here I've already got pre-drawn, and maybe you could ask your grown-up to draw this bit, or you can draw it yourself, the title of the story. So these are my pictures to symbolise Mrs. Armitage on wheels. Okay, and then this is the line. This is where the rest of the story is going to be. And then at the end, what this bike needs is taking to the dump. The end, okay? So it's that part of the story. So what we need to do, what do you think we need to do? That's right, we need to fill in the gaps. So this is your story map, and it's going to help you remember the parts of the story. This is not an art lesson, it's an English lesson. So your pictures can be more like symbols, it can be stick people, whatever you like that helps you to remember. So I know that this bit is Mrs. Armitage on wheels. So I'm now trying to remember what is the next part of the story. I can use my actions to remind me. I remember. It's Once Upon a Time. Now, when I think of Once Upon a Time, I think of a book opening, so I'm just going to put it here. I'm not going to put it down here because this is going to be for the middle part of the story, isn't it? I need to think about how I space out my pictures. So here, I'm going to do a open book. And remember, it's not an art lesson. I don't need to make it perfect, just so that I remember that it's an open book. Once Upon a Time. Then I'm going to do picture of Mrs. Armitage. Oh, my pencil's a bit funny. She was riding her bicycle, wasn't she? Riding her bicycle with Breakspear running alongside. Now remember what I said about stick people or symbols? I will remember that this is Breakspear, so I don't need to draw a very, very, very special picture. I will finish off my bike though. Okay, so that helps me remember that first part of the story. Now that's quite detailed, and I don't need to do that every time. So I know Once Upon a Time Mrs. Armitage was riding her bicycle with her dog Breakspear running alongside. What's the next bit? I know that you're saying it at home. One day a hedgehog ran out. So I might do a sun to remind me of one day, and then I'm going to do a sort of hedgehog symbol. Okay, remember what we said about it not having to be perfect, not having to be an art lesson. One day a hedgehog ran out. this bike needs is a really loud horn. So I'm not going to draw all of that. I'm just going to draw a picture of a horn. Some sound coming out of the horn. Okay, I think you get the idea. So what you need to do is draw some pictures that will take you all the way down the story until the very, very end. Try to remember all of the key points. Now it's your turn. Bye!
Okay, so that is your job. You need to draw the story map using pictures or symbols to help you remember. Have a go. You can do this on just a plain bit of paper. And after you've done that, here is your challenge, your final challenge of this lesson. So after you've done that job, make sure you take a picture of it and upload it to Google Classroom. And can you use your story map to retell the story or part of it to someone in your family? Maybe you could tell it to the family pets. Okay, well done, Year 1.